Anyway, okay, let's move on to the NFC. So we'll start NFC North. The Bears, big disappointment. Big disappointment.
Mitchell Trubisky's a bust, I think.
Yeah, finally. Even though they still will probably keep him, which is ridiculous.
They said they want him as a starter.
It's crazy.
So I have something to throw out to you.
Okay.
What if Jameis Winston went there?
It's going to be a lot of turnovers still, but...
True. They have the defense, I think.
And sorry if it's getting a little dark in here. The sun's going down a little bit, so...
Yeah. I think the thing is Trubisky, he's not throwing deep. He's not playing aggressive.
Yeah. I mean, Jameis Winston would throw the ball down the field.
There is...
guarantee you that.
I think he would move the offense a little bit more.
Yeah, it would. I mean, it would definitely get the offense going, but it would also... He would have a lot of negative plays, too.
There's clearly talent with Jameis Winston. I think we're going to talk about him.
I just think... I wish the Bears would draft another quarterback.
Wow, draft another. What do you think of them trading for someone like Derek Carr? Or do you think...
Derek Carr could be okay.
Another quarterback out there that, is right there, sort of fighting for their job. What if they trade for Alex Smith or someone?
I don't know, because Alex Smith is tough because he hasn't played in such a long time that who knows. I mean, he's old too. Like, he's upper 30, 34. Mariota, I mean, we're talking about these quarterbacks, Trubisky, Mariota, Winston, they're all bust kind of level. I mean, they're not bust completely, but they're just not very good. Yeah. And so I don't know if one of those quarterbacks would be better than Trubisky, honestly.
You grab Eli Manning, maybe?
Not.
You can try grabbing Drew Brees or someone like that.
Drew Brees could be okay for a season.
I think there's talent there.
I just don't think there's any reason you would move on from Trubisky if you're going to get a guy like Mariota. Winston's interesting just because he definitely will move the ball down the field. But other than that, if you're going to get a guy like Mariota or Alex Smith, I just don't think it's worth it to move on from Trubisky.
That's also David Montgomery disappointed.
Yeah, I think he'll be better.
I think, yeah. I can agree with that.
The Vikings...
They did well.
I didn't think they were going to do as well.
I thought they were going to disappoint as well a little bit, but they improved. Hey, they're in the divisional round now, the playoffs as of recording this, and they just upset the Saints as a 6th seed.
Yeah.
So I like where this is going. The question is, are they going to re-sign? Because next year is Kirk's last year. What is going to happen there? Stephon Diggs drama. There is a little bit of it. I think you can't deny that. Alvin Cook also.
Yeah, he's good.
Packers, they hit their ceiling for us, 13-3.
Yeah, I mean, we had a pretty wide margin for them, but yeah, they hit our ceiling of 13-3, so they're good. I will say this now, I think they will make the Super Bowl this year.
Wow.
I'm predicting the Packers will make the Super Bowl this year.
After the Saints.
I had the Saints, and now I'm going to say the Packers, and the Packers probably lose, and then I'll have to pick another team, but for right now, it's the Packers. The Lions, I was very accurate to what they were going to be. I think you liked them a little more than I did.
I thought they were going places. Beginning of the season, they were one of the last undefeated. They had a tie. They were 3-0-1, I think.
And then they ended up with 3 wins.
Yeah.
So
they got screwed a couple of times, I think, against the Chiefs and another team.
The Packers, I think, once.
Yeah. Oh, yes. The Packers, I think, on a Monday night or something like that.
Yeah.
But they have... I don't know what the direction is. Do they move on from Stafford? I don't know because
a bunch of quarterback controversy. It's going to be interesting this offseason because there's a lot of quarterbacks that could move.
I like the Lions. I'm not a fan of them, but I appreciate the team and I feel bad for their fans because they get nothing but they have to deal with the Pistons and the Tigers. So they don't get any success. So let's move on to the NFC South and the Saints. We had a floor of 6-10 and a ceiling of 11-5.
We have a pretty wide margin there.
Drew Brees, hey, recap the season. One of the, he just
I think
most touchdowns.
I got the better of it because you thought he was declining. I didn't. I thought he was going to be good, and he was. So
if they just lost in the playoffs,
yeah,
where do they go from here? I think we talked about this in another one of our videos. Is Teddy Bridgewater. Do they sort of have a Teddy Bridgewater Taysom Hill duo? Because I think that could be interesting. You could make it work with the way that Taysom Hill
is playing. Taysom Hill right now is doing everything, so he can be kind of a bridge quarterback, receiver, running back.
He definitely wouldn't be playing sole quarterback.
Yes, no.
Can't do that. But Teddy Bridgewater, we saw him win big games big games for the Saints.
And like I said in the other video that we made, I think Teddy Bridgewater maybe could have won that game against the Vikings instead of Drew Brees. Who knows?
So the Panthers.
Oh, gosh,
I'll let you go. I'll go let you go.
So
here.
bad. This Panthers are one of my favorite teams. They completely fell flat again. They keep doing it. It's driving me crazy. Christian McCaffrey, to me, the best running back in the NFL. You're going to disagree. Probably you're going to say either Dalvin Cook or somebody else like that.
I actually think so. I
you do?
agree with you.
Okay, because he made the all-pro team in 2 different positions, which I don't know if that's ever been done before, but he made it in the running back and the flex spot, whatever that means. But had 1,000 rushing yards, 1,000 receiving yards. Incredible. That's about it, though. Panthers, that's about it with them. Their defense, I think they're okay. I mean, they didn't play like it really, but Luke Kuechly's still one of the best middle linebackers to me. Brian Burns, the rookie out of Florida State.
Woo!
He's really good. Dante Jackson, the cornerback, I like a lot. They need to upgrade a couple positions. They're getting older at a lot of their positions, so they're going to need a revamp, and they're going to need a quarterback for sure. Either another quarterback, Cam Newton. What do you do with him? Kyle Allen's clearly not the answer. Will Greer's not right now.
Will Greer will never be a starter, in my opinion.
Probably not.
Even though we had no help those games, you just look, arm talent's lacking severely.
Yeah.
He just wasn't playing well. But they need a quarterback. And,
I don't know.
But there is this offseason. This is the golden age of quarterbacks right now. And Mariota could be perfect for that team, to be honest. Imagine Mariota and C-Mac playing together.
That could work.
Get a tight end. I mean, they have DJ Moore, who was a rising star.
Curtis Samuel's good. Yeah. So, I don't know.
So I think Mariota is someone who is
probably
talented enough because he has the legs and the mobility to do it.
And they're not really a throw the ball over the top team. They don't have they have, like, Curtis Samuel's really fast. He could do that. But I don't think their team really does that. I think they're actually a lot closer than a lot of people think they are.
Yeah.
I think they're pretty close to being good.
A good draft could
go a long way.
And I believe they have money. They can cut Cam and just completely...
They could.
I feel like that organization is a little fed up with Cam, especially with all the money. Mm-hmm. I mean, he has barely played since really the Super Bowl season.
I know.
And that's been 3-4 years ago.
Falcons, I think they really disappointed a lot. I didn't think they were going to be as good this year. I thought they would drop off a little bit, and they kind of did. So.
I was pretty high on them. After they got rid of their after they moved their defensive calling from Dan Quinn to their defensive coordinator, they played well. They're sort of that team that you won't remember anything that they did this season.
Just because I'm a Panthers fan, I know they beat the Panthers, but other than that, they really didn't do a whole lot. Oh, that one game they beat the 49ers. That's the one thing you probably will remember from them.
One upset.
But other than that, not a whole lot.
The issue with them there is I think it's too late. I think Julio Jones doesn't have too much time left for him. Matt Ryan is getting old. The running backs are bad. Devontae Freeman, I'm sorry, he's washed. He had a couple good seasons.
Yeah.
Their O-line is meh.
Austin defense is injured a lot.
They've already traded on Sanu. I would like to see them just full-on rebuild. I think they're at that point.
Just get rid of Matt Ryan and just go.
And I like Matt Ryan, but
I do too. But
put him on the Bears, something like that.
I mean, we keep talking about, but there's a lot of quarterback controversy this offseason. So now I'll let you take over with the Bucs because apparently you have a lot to say. So go ahead.
The Bucs are interesting. Jameis Winston was the first quarterback ever to throw 5,000 yards, 30 touchdowns, and wait for it, 30 interceptions. You don't do that if you don't have talent. You also don't do that
if you have talent.
And Bruce Arians has come out and said, if we can win with Jameis Winston, this is a quote, if we can win with Jameis Winston, we can win with other quarterbacks. I don't know about y'all, but that's an insult.
It is.
That's a flat-out insult. Jameis Winston wants $30 million.
Yeah.
Absurd.
He's not going to get that.
I'm a Jameis Winston fan. They have talent. I love Chris Godwin. Mike Evans played well. They have talent. They have the offense. The defense is looking up. The quarterback is the issue. Yeah. The reason they lost games is because Jameis Winston was throwing interceptions.
I mean, that's an average of 2 a game.
That's horrible.
And most games he had more than 2.
Yeah, I mean, it was 2 a game, or it's pretty much 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. You're relying on your defense way too much. They have the offensive talent. but they need a quarterback. And I think there's quarterbacks that could replace James
there's
Winston
a lot of teams like that, too, that have good, like Panthers, we just said. Falcons could be looking at that. The Saints, who knows what's going to happen. Like, there's a lot of teams that they're missing just that one piece.
So the NFC East, the joke of a division.
We were pretty accurate on a lot.
Except
the Redskins and Giants, we both thought would be bad, and they were. I don't think we really even need to talk about them. I mean, you can say a word.
I like the direction the Redskins are going in with hiring the guy that fired Ron Rivera.
Yeah.
I don't mind Dwayne Haskins. Injuries, Darius Guice, I'm sorry.
Dwayne Haskins doesn't look good to me, but he could turn into something. I don't know.
I like the direction the Giants are going in.
I
like Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
Cowboys just signed Mike McCarthy. I'm a fan of the hiring. A lot of people think it's a joke. I understand it. People say his offense was bland, especially towards the end of his career, or end of his, coaching with the Packers. But he won a Super Bowl. Yes, he had one of the greatest quarterbacks ever in Aaron Rodgers. But he has similar talent, good O-line. He has a running back, so whenever he was good with, Eddie Lacy, he has Ezekiel Elliott now, and I'm pretty sure they're not the same running back. And if they keep Amari Cooper can play the Jordy Nelson role. They both have Randall Cobb, so it's a similarity. Get him a tight end. There's similarities. Get the Cowboys a defensive coordinator.
That's what they need the most, I feel like.
They need consistency, I feel like.
Yeah.
The money situation is going to be weird.
I just don't know about Dak, dude. I still don't.
Sometimes he looks amazing. Sometimes he looks bad. It's so confusing. What do you think the direction the Cowboys are going in? What do you think of this Mike McCarthy?
I just feel like I agree with the fact. I think what Jerry Jones basically said was, hey, we have the talent necessary to win the Super Bowl. We just need a coach that has been there and has been in situations like that. And Mike McCarthy has. Now, is he a great coach? I don't really know. I mean, it seems like he is. I just don't really know. Because Aaron Rodgers apparently had some beef with him. I don't know. I feel like he's a good coach. I don't know that Mike McCarthy's he's gonna make a difference, and I think the Cowboys will be the favorites in this division next year, honestly. I really like the Eagles, and we'll talk about them in a second, but the Cowboys, I like now that Mike McCarthy's there to win the division, just because I think he'll just give them that little edge. I don't think it's going to be enough still to get over the hump. I think Dak will have to improve for that to happen.
The Eagles are interesting because they got screwed over by injuries. Deshaun Jackson didn't play, and when he did play earlier in the season, he was good. He was still very talented. Alshon Jeffrey out. They'll cut Nelson Aguilar, but Greg Ward Jr.
They'll cut Nelson Aguilar?
I think they'll get rid of him.
Really?
I think the fans are just pissed at him. I think the organization's a little mad at him. If not, they can trade him, I think. Can get it. I think you can get a good price. Aguilar has talent.
Yeah. I like Greg Ward Jr. a lot.
I was telling him earlier, you have Dallas Goedert, Zach Ertz, Alshon Jeffrey, Greg Ward Jr., Deshaun Jackson, with Miles Sanders as your running back. That's a good offense, and Carson Wentz is your quarterback. Carson Wentz is the quarterback of the future. He's injury prone, though.
Yeah.
Their defense, they just got injuries. They need a cornerback.
Bad.
Yeah.
Their money situation is weird, too.
Yeah, they don't have a lot of money, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I don't think they have any, at all.
So they could, honestly, they can go two complete directions, sort of that, half rebuild where Carson Wentz is still develops with money.
I just don't know. Carson Wentz is interesting because he gets injured all the time. But he's good when he's not.
He's amazing.
He's amazing.
And Miles Sanders is talented. Might win Offensive Rookie of the Year. I don't know where this team is going. They just made the playoffs. They won the division two of the last 3 years.
It's interesting.
Next year, it's going to be probably my biggest spread of the floor being 6-10 and the ceiling being 12-4 type of feat.
Yeah, I mean this year I had the floor 7-9, the ceiling 13-3. They went 8-8. 9-7. So it was in that range, but still not what we thought was going to happen. I think we both thought they would be a little higher just because, and I think they would have if their injuries wouldn't have been as bad. So the Seahawks were a lot better than what I thought for sure.
Seahawks we had a floor of 6-10 and ceiling on 9-7. I think that was. I don't, if I'm not mistaken, this was actually before the whole Clowney trade.
Yeah,
when we did this. That probably would have affected it by like a game more. I think they're good, but I actually think they're pretty overrated. We saw them consistently sort of do this pattern of like winning some games, like, oh, they are the team to beat in the NFL. And then you just see them get destroyed by a Teddy Bridgewater who's only started like 3 games in the last 4 seasons. And you're just like, where is this? Russell Wilson is carrying the team.
Yeah.
As for the future, I don't know how to see this team.
I don't know.
I'm probably a little bit biased, but the Jadeveon Clowney trade, they're putting all their eggs in one basket with the Jadeveon Clowney. Maybe they let him go, which is definitely possible, and really won't hurt the Texans at all. Just gonna throw that in there.
Yeah.
But I don't see any. I sort of think the direction the 49ers are going and the Cardinals are going, I think I can see the Seahawks going down a little bit.
Yeah, the only player that really is shining is DK Metcalf right now. He's kind of the star of the team now.
Russell Wilson,
with Russell Wilson, yeah. But, yeah, they need...
Pete Carroll's also getting old.
He's old, like
ancient.
age old. Yeah, so I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I agree with this division, how good it is. I don't think the Seahawks will be... I think they'll probably be possibly the worst team in this division next year. It's possible for that to happen. So the 49ers, this was the biggest joke to us because we thought they were going to be bad, and they were the opposite of bad. So
we had them as a floor of 4-12 and a ceiling of 7-9. We didn't even think remotely that they would have a winning season.
No, we did not think they would make the playoffs.
Seed in the NFC.
Yeah.
And they're a good team, and they've had some injuries, and they're still amazing. They have Nick Bosa, who will probably be...
I wish it would be Ed Oliver, but yeah, he'll probably be defensive rookie of the year.
He's been amazing. The defense has been good. Richard Sherman's playing great. I remember during the early in the offseason, I think there's a video where I was talking about this, where a report came out that Jimmy Butler, woo!
Talking NBA now.
Jimmy Garoppolo threw 5 interceptions back to back.
Yeah, I remember that. Wasn't it in the preseason you did that?
I think it was preseason or like training camp. And we were like, oh, this is going to be bad. This is horrible. It might have been actually the prediction video whenever I talked about this. But
that's probably why we had him so low.
It turns out the defense was just elite. Do I trust Jimmy G?
I don't.
I don't.
I don't.
You're just going to say it straight up.
I just don't. That's why I have the Packers beating them in the conference championship. But they're still a good team, though. They're gonna keep Jimmy Garoppolo. Like, he's gonna be good enough to keep. But I think I think they're in a similar situation, not totally, but like quarterback wise to what the Cowboys are like. Like they have a great team, but I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo I think he's gonna hinder them a little bit. That's what my prediction is. I could be wrong on that, but that's what I am predicting for them.
The funny thing is no one's really said anything about Jimmy G this offseason. I can't recall a time looking on my phone and seeing a Bleacher Report update of like, look what Jimmy G just did. He never set a team on fire.
Yeah.
He never was... I can't remember a highlight of ever seeing him or his name ever being called out.
I know.
It was almost a game... Like, he played well.
Yeah.
And he didn't lose them games. But I honestly never felt like he won them games. I always felt like because of the product.
Yeah.
The running game was amazing, and Kyle Shanahan honestly deserves Coach of the Year, if not Mike Tomlin. But
Mike Tomlin, my vote, but getting biased for me, but yeah.
They have talent, and they could win the Super Bowl this year, and I could be completely wrong about Jimmy G.
We'll see.
But I'm not betting on him next season to win the MVP. I think teams are going to start figuring out the 49ers because they started getting figured out towards the end of the season.
Yeah, they did.
I think they're sort of the offensive juggernaut, like the Chiefs of last season. They're going to get stopped.
The Rams, we were really high on, and they just didn't perform like we thought they would. I think a lot of that had to do with Todd Gurley not being super healthy and just not being that good. He's not I don't know if he's as good as what we think he is.
He's injured, and no one really knows about the Rams, and
they're an interesting team.
They just fired their defensive coordinator, and for some reason they think they should go all in because they traded a first-round pick for Jalen Ramsey, and they don't have a first-round pick for a while.
I know. They're pretty locked up with their players, too. They're another team that's pretty stuck with where they are, and I don't think that's going to be good for them.
We just saw that. I mean, Jared Goff looks overrated. He doesn't have a run game, and he just suffered.
I think that's kind of when Jared Goff played really well and got to the Super Bowl, and I think people were saying he was really, really good, but I think that was a lot because of what Todd Gurley was, and a lot because of what Sean McVay was. And I think now you're seeing with Todd Gurley not being as good, Jared Goff is struggling.
Yeah,
a lot more than we thought he was.
And I mean, Cooper Kupp played well. I'm not a fan of Robert Woods and Brandon Cooks on this team. I don't like watching the Rams, to be honest. They're not my style of team to watch. But this team, they need something. They need a defensive spark. They need a running back. Their offensive line's all right.
That's weird to say that they need a running back.
Todd Gurley just got paid, and if I'm not mistaken, it's only a 3-year deal. It wasn't that long, and it's gonna be an interesting offseason for the Rams. I think they're gonna be making some cuts, and I think they'll start making some moves.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about the last team in the NFL.
Yes, the Arizona Cardinals. Go ahead, I'll let you talk first.
So, I actually like the Cardinals in the direction they're going. David Johnson's been out, and I think he had his 1 or 2 year wonders.
Yeah.
But Kenyon Drake, I believe, is the running back they got. He's been playing pretty well.
Yeah. I still think they would need another running back, though.
Okay.
I mean, there's a good draft for running backs, so
yeah,
maybe they pick one up.
I think their defense is on the right track. Pat Pete, they probably can trade him. Maybe keep him for 1 more year. This Kyler Murray had an underrated season.
We were looking it up, and compared to what Baker Mayfield's season was, the difference, they had similar numbers. The difference was Kyler Murray got sacked almost I think it was
twice.
Like double what Baker did. And so, but he still put up good numbers. Baker did it in less games. Baker had a really good rookie season, and Kyler Murray was pretty similar to what Baker did. So he doesn't get the hype that Baker got, but he had an underrated rookie season.
I think it's an underrated opinion, but they could be the 2nd seed in their division for next season. Because if I'm not mistaken, they beat the Seahawks. They beat the Rams, I believe, once. And they put the 49. They were the first team to give the 49ers a run for their money.
Yeah, and we just to let you all know, we had them. Their floor is 2-14, and their ceiling is 5-11. And did they go 5? Did they go 5-11?
I think they went 5-11.
So they were at 6-10. So they were right at our ceiling or a little above. So they played really well compared to what we thought. And I think the Rams, if they just don't get it figured out, and the Seahawks kind of go down, I think they could possibly be the 2nd best team in this division. Don't know about maybe not next year, but maybe the year after that. Okay, anything else you want to say before we wrap this up?
I don't think so. I think we're about to see a lot of quarterbacks retiring.
Yeah,
so and enjoy it while
switching teams and a lot of other stuff. So thank you all for sticking with us during this video. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.